Mary Hopkins will leave her porch light on this week, along with others on the South Shore and beyond. Even the Seal Island Light Museum beacon in Barrington is going to shine through the night. Hopkins' son Joel and 4 other fishermen died when the Miss Alley overturned 2 years ago. The lights are in memory of these men and all fishermen who've lost their lives at sea. The CBC's Natalie Dobbin reached Mary Hopkins at her home last week.
Mary, this is the second year that porch lights will turn on. What have the last 2 years been like for you and your family?
I suppose if you'd ask any mom or dad who've lost a child, they probably would not know quite how to answer either. But it's been hard. It's harder than we ever thought you could imagine it to be when you lose a child.
Do you know how the other families are doing?
Everyone is doing as well as can be expected. Of course, this is the time of the year that it comes back full force, and you think about the day and what we all went through, and you think about our sons and what they possibly went through that day. So it just comes full force right now.
How is the community healing?
I'm going to guess and say a lot of the fishermen will talk about all the guys aboard the boat. They are there for the families. I guess talking about them is probably about the best thing, and remembering them and the funny things about them, and like I said, again, just being there for a lot of the family. It's amazing how much you would think of them from the time you go to bed, from the time that you wake up. You go through your day, you do your meals, you do your wash, you go to work, you do all that, but there's so many things. And of course the other moms and dads will tell you this, and friends. There's so much here that reminds you of all of them, from the fishing in their blood, how they loved fishing from the wharf, and they were all hunters. So when you hear or see camouflage, you think of them. They all played sports. Not all of them, the majority of them played sports. When you hear a dirt bike go by, when you go by their houses, it's just a constant reminder, and it's bittersweet. So, yeah, we think of them a lot. There are so many memories, particularly with Joel, because he was a character. I remember just one in particular when he was younger. I would say he was probably 8 or 9, and his sister Holly came in my room and said, "Mom," it was in the middle of the night, he said, "Mom, I think Joel's gone." I said, "What do you mean gone?" Like, there's nothing but woods behind us, and there is a railroad track. He had heard some music playing, and he climbed out his window, and he walked through the woods, and he followed down the track until he found the house that the music was at, and he had to go in and see what was going on and talk to everybody. And of course, we're in a panic, wondering where he is, but as usual, when we worried about Joel, he was always off having a good time. So that was just one of the many things. There's so many memories about Joel. So many.
Just last week, we heard the fishing boat, the Poseidon Princess, sank, but the 4 people that were on board survived. What was it like for you to hear that story?
You just thank God that they were found, that it was good for them. What a wonderful outcome for their families. You wouldn't want anybody else to go through what we had gone through. So thank God that everything turned out good for them.
Those fishermen managed to get their immersion suits on when they realized what was happening. After the sinking of the Miss Alley, have there been more discussions about safety?
One thing in particular, I know that they were saying the survival suits are quite cumbersome to put on, and they're hard to put on quickly. And then they said about perhaps we should try making sure we can get them put on. But other than that, I couldn't answer for what the fishermen and whatnot talk about. But they're hardy men. They go out now. They're independent. They don't wear their life jackets. They just think about fishing.
And your husband and your 2 sons still fish?
Yes, they're out fishing today. They're lobster fishing. And they went last night, and they'll be home sometime tonight.
You're asking people to turn their porch lights on. What will it mean to you to see those lights on?
Well, I think it kind of originated years ago. That used to be the Widow's Peaks, and when the fishermen went out, they would always put a candle in the window so they could see the candles as they come in. So that's basically where it sort of started from. And the nights 2 years ago, people put their lights on with the same thought, out of hope, out of love, out of recognition. So it was an awesome thing to go through the community, so many communities around here, and see those lights on, and they, you knew it was for our sons. So last year, I had put on there about, let's do it again, and so many people grabbed on for it again. So this year I said, okay, it's 2 years, it means a lot to us, families and whatnot. I hemmed and hawed, and I said, well, I'll put it out there. Whoever wants to will do it. Because, again, it's important to us, but you think, other people have moved on. But so many people gravitated to it and said, yes, we think of them. We think of them all the time. And I have friends in the States, and some of the boys had gone out west, and they're putting their lights on. So it has grown a little bit since last year. And like I say, it's not just for our sons. Joel had a really good friend who fell overboard just about a month before the Miss Allie was lost. And that mother and another young man, Brex, not too long after that happened, fell off the spar. So, and it's just, you live in a fishing village, and it's up in your face. It's there all the time. So it's good to remember them just for these few days.
Thank you so much, Mary, for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Mary Hopkins' son, Joel, died when the Miss Allie overturned nearly 2 years ago. She took to Facebook to ask people to turn on their porch lights for 4 nights this week, starting yesterday.
Sea exacts the cost. Sometimes the loved ones that we lost, but still to those who've seen the light, death is the dawn that ends the night. So light a candle for the boys who left the land by sailor's choice. They fought Atlantic's mighty foam, so leave a light until they're home. So light a candle for the boys who left the land by sailor's choice. They fought the mighty ocean foam, so leave a light until they're home. So leave a light until they're home.